In productivity circles, many people talk about time boxing their work. But today I want to reframe it from instead of time boxing to concern boxing it. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and we were talking about how it doesn't really take a lot of time sometimes to do something. So, for instance, in this case, we were talking about uploading a podcast episode that we just recorded. And yeah, there may be some post processing and editing involved afterwards, but it really doesn't take that much time. And I know because I've measured it in the past. Yet, for some reason, it feels like there's a lot of energy that we need to put into it. And that really is kind of what blocks us from taking action on the final step. In this case of uploading a podcast episode, it struck me as really interesting and made me think, instead of time boxing, what if we concern boxed our task or energy box it? The ones that we know doesn't actually take that long to do. But for whatever reason, it feels like we have to expend a lot of energy and concern on it. And what concern boxing or energy boxing is, and I think it's a very subjective thing for people, is that you set aside a certain amount of energy that you're willing to put into something before you decide you're past the point of a certain energy level. Maybe for some people, it's starting to feel a little depleted or a little tired. Maybe it's the point where simply you just stop having fun with whatever it is you're doing. Or maybe it's the point where you start feeling really frustrated. I don't know, right? Whatever that point is for you, it's like past that point, you stop doing the thing and then just table it for later or another day. And see what happens when you try that. So recently, when I tried this, I found that when I tell myself that I'm only going to expend, a certain amount of energy, I basically gave myself a threshold such that when I dip below that threshold, I will allow myself to stop doing the thing. And I felt so much relief when I gave myself permission to do that, that it made it, first of all, easier to actually start doing the thing that I was stuck on. Because I promised myself that I was going to put my energy and my self care first. And I think that helped made it easier to just get started. At least that's what I think my psyche understood it to be. And the second thing is, it was easier to get started on it. And then I found I did the thing with more ease. And I ended up just getting it done in less time than I thought it would take. And I knew it wasn't going to take that much time anyway, but it still kind of surprised me. One thing I forgot to make clear is the reason why I also call it concern boxing is because a lot of the energy that we spend on something is actually spent worrying about that thing. So that's why it's also concern boxing. So when I tell myself that I only have basically so much concern to give about this thing, and after I'm done expending the amount of energy I want on it, I'm no longer going to be concerned. I won't be concerned about it anymore until the next day or the next time I revisit, right? Because I only have so much bleep to give about a thing, because that's a lot of energy spent. Now, I won't say this method works all the time. I'm no saint, and I have a long history of working, past the point of my threshold to burnout. But I am making progress. And these days, even if I push myself past the threshold, I catch myself pretty quickly and remind myself that, I passed my threshold, my energy box, my concern box, and so I will have to do this after a break or save it for another day. And when I come back to it, it'll be easy again. So I'm curious what you think. And if you try out this little reframe for yourself, experiment with it for a bit and let me know how it works for you. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And until next time, thank you, and I appreciate you.